Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Makayla. Thank you so much for stopping by. Now today, this video is going to help you get your finances together, especially if you are struggling or you can't figure out where your money is going. This video is going to get you right, okay? Even if you make a lot of money, but you can't figure out where it's going, this video will help you as well. So my first tip is to pay yourself first, okay? So I would take a little portion of every check and put it into my savings account. Don't touch it, just put it away. Put it away, okay? Don't touch it at all, because that's how you're gonna let your money grow, okay? Even if you start with like $5 out of every check. I'm not saying not to pay your bills, still pay your bills, but pay yourself first, because the bills can wait. And we'll get to that in the next tip, but pay yourself first. So I started by taking $5 and putting it away, and then I eventually increased it to $10, then $25, then $50, because I got so comfortable with saving, and that was how I was able to make my money grow. So always, always, always pay yourself first. Tip number 2. Now this is going to help you with tip number 1, because you probably listened to tip number 1 and started immediately thinking like, but I got bills, or I don't have enough money to save. We're going to get there, okay? So tip number 2, take advantage of your grace periods. So a little bit about my backstory. I was a college student. I was in my last year of college last year. I was working at McDonald's full-time, and I was only making like $9 an hour. And I also lived off campus. I was paying rent. I had a car. I was paying my car insurance. I was pretty much paying all of my bills. All of my bills, but I was working off of basically minimum wage. But I was still able to save thousands of dollars. And this is how I was able to do it. I took advantage of my grace periods. I had a 10-day grace period with my car note. And so I was able to pay my car note. I was able to pay my car note up to 10 days late, but it wasn't really late. It was within the grace period. So when I was working at McDonald's, I was getting paid every week. So instead of immediately just, paying my car note right away, or paying the full amount right away, I was putting that money, not the whole amount obviously, but I was putting a little bit of money, that $25 here, that $15 there. I was putting that money into my savings account first. And then when I got my next check, that's when I would pay all of my bills, finish paying off whatever bills that I need to pay. But I took advantage of my grace periods. If you don't have that same opportunity or flexibility, I would say change some of the dates, change some of the payment dates of your bills. Try to pay them all together within the same dates so that you won't be paying bills all throughout the month. That's a tip that really helped me get to where I am now. Tip number 3, track your spending. Please track your spending. Check your bank statements, okay? If you are wondering where your money is going, you need to check your bank statements. Print out your bank statements. Highlight everything that's not a necessity, and you will see where you're spending your money on. If you don't tell your money where to go, your money is going to tell you what it wants to do, and it's going to walk all over you. And that's not what you want, okay? You want to make sure you know where your money is going at all times. You won't believe how many times I've talked to people about this, and then we go through their bank statements and they're spending their money on snacks at the gas station, on restaurants, on pleasures, leisure. Like, they're spending their money on so many things, and then they're wondering why at the end of the month they don't have any money. Because if you're not tracking what you're spending your money on, your money is going to disappear and you're not going to know what happened to it. That's not the place you want to be. You always want to be on top of your spending and know where your money is going all the time, okay? My last tip is you have to start giving. You're probably thinking, I don't make enough money to give, or my bills and my income are right at the same level. But you can't think like that. That's how I used to think. I used to tell God, I don't have enough money to give. I don't make enough to give. You know what my situation is. I was coming to church and I was giving God, maybe $1 or so. I was giving him what I had left over, basically. But you don't want to give God what you have left over. You want to put money aside for God. You have to give in order to receive, and that's a principle, and that's biblical as well. You want to show God that you can trust him with your finances, because if you tell God what you can't do, if you tell God what you don't have enough of, then God's going to say, okay, well, I'm going to let you figure it out on your own. But you don't want that. You want to say, you know what, God, I trust you. I trust that if I give this amount of money, that you will return it back to me tenfold. You have to have faith that God will take care of your finances. When you give, you're telling God, you know what, when you give, you are telling God that you trust him. A lot of times we get into a rut where we hold on to every single dollar that we have because we don't have faith that God will return it to us, or we don't have faith that God is going to multiply that money for us. But you cannot think like that, because that's a poverty mindset, holding on to every single thing that you get because you're afraid of letting it go. You're afraid that it won't come back to you. But when you have an abundance mindset, when you have faith that God will supply all of your needs and God will take care of you, that's when God will start to show up in your life, and that's when he will start to move. When you show him that you are faithful, and when you take the first steps in giving. So my story. So this is what I started to do. I said, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you with this. I'm going to start giving a little bit more. And it wasn't because I was giving just to get something back. It was because I loved God, and I want to show God that I loved him and that I trusted him. So I started giving $5 each week. Now, mind you, I'm still a college student. I'm still working at my same job. I'm still making, $9 an hour. Nothing has changed. But I said, I'm going to give $5 a week. And then eventually I gave 10. Then I brought it up to 15. Then out of nowhere, one day I felt God lead me to give $25 a week. Now that was so absurd for me back then. I was like, $25 a week? How in the world am I going to be able to afford this? But then I noticed that as I was giving $25 a week, I noticed that money always stayed in my bank account. None of my bills were paid late. Nothing was ever cut off. I always had food. I always had transportation. Every need that I could have had was taken care of by God, because I took that first step in showing God that I trusted him with my finances. I trust you to be Lord over my life. And that's what God wants to see. He took care of me throughout that entire season. And I was still saving money as well. So I was saving money, giving money, and paying all of my bills. So God was really taking care of me during that season, because I decided to let go of that poverty mindset. These were my first steps towards building my abundance mindset. So in order to start building your abundance mindset and start giving, you have to have a heart to give. You have to start changing your heart and your attitude about giving. You can't have a nasty attitude about giving and expect to get something back from God in return. You have to give in order to receive, and that's just what it is. You can't be afraid to give. Start small. Like I always say, start small. I'm not saying you have to start tithing right away or giving 10% of everything right away. Just start small. Like show God that you are making the necessary steps, that you are making an effort to show him that you love and that you trust him. Honestly, I could talk about giving all day long, so I'm probably going to go ahead and make a second video about giving. Well, that's it for this video. I really hope that you all were encouraged and blessed by this video. If you were blessed by this video, please share this video. Don't forget to comment down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.